Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew. I'm here in my home in lovely Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Trying to go live over here on Instagram. It wasn't set up, so I had to go do that real fast, and luckily I could figure it out. So, hallelujah for that. Hopefully, y'all are doing well and having a good Wednesday. I was like, what day is it? It's Wednesday, y'all. If you're watching, say hello and tell us where you're tuning in from. Kim is watching. Hi, Kim. I'm Andrew. William is my husband, but I'm Andrew. Yeah, so we've been super busy. I had a bunch of meetings today and have been working on some different things. One of the things that I've been working on is that I am a member of Cohorts Arts. My mentor is Jen Wells, who lives in Italy. And a part of that, being one of the cohort members, is you get to do a social media takeover. So I've been over on their Instagram, which is cohorts.art. I think cohorts.art. Cohorts.art. And I've been posting. And between 1 and 2 times a day, and as many times as I want in the stories. So I've been trying to take advantage of it and posting there. It's been nice to be able to do that. I don't always give myself a lot of time to do those kinds of more, some of the bigger posts. A lot of times I'm just like, look what I made real quick. But over I've been kind of curating some different things from my life and talking about some of the early childhood experiences and the things that have went into making who I am today. So today I talked a little bit about my self-portrait series that I did or will continue to do. And yeah, I thought it's been fun. Today is technically my last day. They said it's a week long, but it's actually Monday through Wednesday. And I need to double check on that just to make sure that I'm not skipping out at the end of the week. Um, yeah, so I'm doing that, and it's taken a little bit of time, but it's stuff that I can collaborate with myself. And so that way I have posts for my own feed. And I have been getting a lot of new people on my Instagram feed, which is Andrew Thornton. That's THORNTON artist. And since I've been getting a lot of new people, some of these kind of introductory posts are good because people will, when they kind of randomly stumble across it, they're like, "Who's this? Why do I care about what they're doing?" So, anyways, it's nice to be there. It's been a really interesting program so far. We meet twice a month individually with our mentors, and then we meet once a month as a kind of a group cohort. And then at the end, we're all supposed to meet up in Italy. And depending on where your mentor lives, you end up there. And most of the places, they're all over the world, but most of the folks, they're ceramicists. So the metals is new for them, and it's a relatively new a new branch for them to explore. So I'm excited. It's been really lovely so far. I won a scholarship to do it, and it's been really nice to do it. I see a couple more folks have tuned in, and Schroeder is watching. Howdy, Ann. Shakita is watching. Howdy. Kim is coming in from Florida. I grew up in Florida. Um, Wednesdays are usually one of our more quiet nights, but we'll see. Um, so, anyways, what are we doing tonight? We've got some random lots tonight. William ran to the cottage and pulled some things for me, and I'll go through them and see if I like them, and we'll go through them together. I have a lot of work that I'm working on for my release on Friday. I've been working really hard on getting some new pieces together for a launch on Friday, which I'm excited about. We were supposed to do it last Friday, but we kind of didn't do any lives last Friday. And then we're going to do it on Monday, but I can't remember what happened exactly, but stuff didn't really work out that well. And instead of having like kind of a piecemeal show, I decided to take them tonight to work on that. And so that's what I did. And so I've been working, getting things ready for that. And hopefully all will like them, because it's been fun to make stuff. If you're making anything now, let me know in the comments. It's always nice to hear what folks are getting up to. I figure, you know, I don't like to just jump right into the live sale, even though that probably would be best. And I know some folks say they like that better, just cut to the chase. But I kind of feel like I want to do a project. And I didn't really set out with an intention to do a project tonight because I was like, I'm going to make this one short. For one, I got 12 minutes left on my audiobook and I want to finish my audiobook. I'm just dying to hear how this turns out. I'm like, who's this stranger on the heath or whatever they're doing? And I really want to see how this turns out. I'm almost finished, just 12 more minutes. And so I'm really curious to see what's going to happen to Lydia in the Crow Investigation series, which I'm listening to right now. They're by Sarah Painter. And you know what? I think one thing, and this is going to be like kind of impromptu, kind of AG Live challenge style. But I think if you don't know, we used to have a book club. It was called Inspired by Reading. And it was something that we started off locally, and people that actually came from all over the country to participate. But it was also online. And over the course of the pandemic, it kind of fizzled out. And we tried to revive it at one point, and it just wasn't getting any traction. But I think this month, March, I didn't overbook myself because usually my problem is I overbook myself and I'm scheduled up to my eyeballs and then some. So so we haven't been. I was tossing around whether or not we should revive the book club again. But right now I'm super busy. But and William he reads, but not as much as I read. So it's hard for him to do the book club because a lot of times he doesn't get around to reading the book, and then it's a real short meeting. But anyways, so I was thinking maybe we could do one this month. And there was this really lovely book called The Stone Witch of Florence. And it was recommended to me by the New York City Jewelry Week. I recently read it, but I'm happy to reread it. And maybe we'll do that for the month of March. How about that? I'll post the link to that in the Inspired by Reading book club page, and I'll ask William. I'll write this down so I don't forget to send an email about it because I think it's a fun book. It's not only is it like a fun read, not like a hard read. You know, sometimes when it's too hard, um, I just don't get into the books as well. I'm like, what does the monkey mean? You know, there we read one book and it was just too highbrow for me, I guess. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. There's a monkey riding a bike in a field, and I'm supposed to know what that means. And there's some deep symbolism to that. And I'm all about the symbolism, but I did not get the monkey on the bike symbolism. Yeah. So, anyways, The Stone Witch of Florence, and I believe it's by Anna Roche. And we'll post the details about that um, in the newsletter and online, of course, everywhere online. Books for book club. Now, I'm not going to usually for a book club, We do the whole year, like a whole year. We do the whole thing, and I used to make bookmarks and send those out. We're not doing that because I am traveling all over, and some of the places out on a peninsula, on an island, out in the ocean, and so I don't know if I'm gonna have internet out there. And I hate to schedule stuff and then have to remove or like change things around and all that. I see a couple more folks have tuned in. Michelle's watching. Hey, Michelle. Hopefully, your husband is doing well. Sandra's watching. Howdy, Sandra. So, if you're just tuning in, we just got started. Cheryl's lurking while making mac and cheese. That sounds good. I don't know what we're gonna have for dinner. It's gonna be interesting what I pull together. Um, so if you just missed that, we're going to do a 1 month book club. The book that we're going to pick is The Stone Witch of Florence by Anna Roche. I think her name's Anna Roche. R-A-U. Let me look, and then we don't have to guess. Rasche. R-A-S-C-H-E. I don't know if that's how you. I'm guessing that's Rasche. Like, um, I don't know. But I guess I could watch like an interview with her, and then usually they introduce the people. That's the thing about just reading stuff. Dale says, "Good evening, listening from work." Howdy, Dale. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we've got on the plan for this month. We've also been thinking about doing and launching another big giveaway. It seemed like that was real popular, and people seem to like that. I'm also thinking about doing another kind of creative challenge. We used to do uh, what we called, what did we call them? Um, well, back in the day, they used to be called readers' challenges. And then we had design challenges, which is where the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group came from. And we made hundreds of them. And that was another kind of example of we did it, and then some other folks did it. And then some people were like, I just have too many things. There's just too many things going on. I just don't have time to do all of the things. So, after a while, we kind of gently slowed down on that, and we transitioned more into like inspiration kits, like quick, kind of more affordable, more kind of like accessible little pops of inspiration. And so we did that, and we still are going to do that, and we do that from time to time. And we did a thing called Kitapalooza where we launched way too many kits. I think we launched 100 or more kits the first time we did Kitapalooza, and that kind of broke my brain a little bit, but in a nice way, a nice loving way. Anyway, so we're thinking about doing another design challenge kit and get that revamped and regoing. And then William's also got make along planned for, I think he has a third Friday of the month. Let me pull up the calendar. Oh, I see Tanya Crane was watching on Instagram. I don't know if she's still watching. I miss you, Tanya. So I think the make along for March is scheduled for 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe the 21st, March 21st. I don't know if folks are interested in that. Michelle says hubby is doing well. He isn't staying. He isn't staying in the hospital and will be home shortly. Not sure how long I will be on. Well, hopefully his surgery went well and he recovers quickly. We're all going to send some positive energy out to y'all. And just know that we've been thinking on y'all. And so hopefully, things go according to plan and get better. Susie, our neighbor, is watching. Howdy, Susie. And yeah, so book club, I talked about that. I talked about relaunching the design challenge. I think we'll have the reveal in March, April, in April. So we'll sell the kits this March, and then we'll we'll debut them at the end of March. Well, I don't know. I'll think of it. Because used to we would have when we would do the design challenge kits before, we would have them every month. So we would debut them 2 months in advance and then have a reveal. And then, it was like a ongoing cycle. So I think we're gonna probably debut them maybe next week. And I have a question for y'all out there, since y'all are probably the ones who are most likely going to be the ones who are participating. Um, do you want a smaller kit with more people participating because they'll be cheaper? I'm guessing more people will participate if it's cheaper. Or do you want a bigger kit with a better selection that's a little bit higher dollar, but that means probably fewer people will watch or participate? Um, so there's a couple options. We were also thinking of doing like a mix and then have it so that you could get like the mix or like the full kit. And that way, if you are, you don't have a lot of money right now, or you want to spend it on something that you actually want to pick for yourself instead of what we pick, that way folks can still participate, but maybe don't have to get like a full kit. So we're going to be, we'll see. We have to think about the logistics. Michelle says, hubby asked to be released and he saw that they were really busy and someone else would need the bed more than him. Well, that's very thoughtful of him. Hopefully not pushing it too fast though, because, um, don't fall on the sword and for others if it's going to cause problems. But I'm sure he knows the best. Lennis is watching. Howdy, Lennis. So we have, I'm also mentioned at the beginning of this, if y'all didn't see, that I've been the guest poster for cohort.arts, and that's on their Instagram. If you aren't on their feed, do give them a like, give them a follow. That will let them know that I actually know people and they like me. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah. Michelle says, yeah, we told him the same. They're sending meds home with him. Well, hopefully it all works out for the best. I'm sure it will. In other news, it was kind of cold and rainy today. So I'm kind of glad that I was kind of stuck inside today, doing something. The other day, it was just gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful. And I was like, I should do this. I should do this. I should do this. And I didn't do any of it. But I do want to get the yard work kind of done at the cottage, just because we got mulch from this place called Chip Drop, and some of the mulch that they give you is kind of like rando. It's whatever they kind of chew up in their chipper shredder, and so you get it. And one of my gardener friends, they recommended that we let it sit for a while. I don't think they meant as long as we have, but that sometimes when you get fresh stuff, it can be like highly acidic, I guess, and sometimes that can kill the plants. So I don't know if that's like true or if they were just making me feel better about not being able to mulch right away. But I'd like to get the mulch done before the daffodils come up, so that it's just easier to mulch when it's all flat instead of like trying to mulch around stuff. So there's that, and hopefully I'll be able to do that this coming week. I've kind of blocked it off so my March isn't super busy. I don't know how I managed to do that because usually I'm chock full of nuts and like I'm going to this meeting, this meeting, this meeting, or doing this thing or traveling somewhere. And this month so far, knock on fake wood, is a little bit more gentle pace. So I'm excited about that. Um, so that is what we're kind of working on behind the scenes. I'm getting stuff ready for Friday. So I have a couple polymer ornaments. I don't know if people are gonna like them. They're kind of weird. Um, I like them, but they are like, I was like, are people gonna like these? Um, because they're not like a regular thing. Like if I make like hearts, usually hearts they sell real well all the time, whenever. Or if I make cats, they usually sell. And then I'm like, let's make these lucky billikens. And one was like, what's that? And I was like, well, let me tell you. And so there are these creatures that are supposed to be good luck, and they're apparently a mascot of some sports team. And anyways, I guess they were bigger. Um, they were more popular a long time ago. So, anyways, more people I think knew. Cheryl says, since I won the design challenge last year, I'll be out this time around, but we'll be cheering AGB fam on. Plus, spring is just so busy with yard work and family plans. I don't think we're going to do like a prize one, um, just a creative one that folks can. It, Basically, how we used to do the design challenge kits is you'd buy a kit and then there's a reveal date, and then people would all post what they made. Some folks, they would make as many things as they could with the kits, and they'd make like a ton of stuff. There was one lady, she made like a whole collection from each of the kits we sold, and we would kind of make the kits really lush. So there were a lot of beads to work with, but it was kind of interesting to see. So the concept of it is that everybody's given the same materials, and then it shows your own individual creativity, like the things that you make, how you make. So what is really cool is to see how somebody can take the same ingredients and make something completely different, or sometimes very similar. I always think it's interesting when there are ones that are kind of similar, because it's like, what have you all been looking at, or who did you all learn from, or like how, like why are they kind of similar? And it's interesting to see that. And I think it's a really cool exercise. Now, before we used to do, every once in a while, we do great big challenge, like competitions. And sometimes we would have like, oh, we're going to have this, and then everybody's got to do this, and then there's voting and all that. But I don't have the energy on for that, so we're not doing that. Anyways. Charlie's watching. She says, hello, popping in to say hi. We'll be back later on. Excuse me. And what is that? Stop. Hell Cook. I don't know. Hello, if you're still watching. Um, it's always interesting to see what folks have, what their screen names are. Um, and anyway, so we probably won't do a competition, but we will do the challenge, like the old school blog hops from back in the day. Somebody was talking about how they had met a lot of fun folks from the blog hops from back then, and how they kept in touch with them. And I was like, let's do that again. It's not really a blog hop in the same way. I guess we could try to do like a blog hop type thing, but the only issue is people don't all have blogs anymore. And the other thing is that not everybody has like Facebook, but not everybody has Instagram. It'd be great to do it on Instagram. I'd love to do it on Instagram. So if you're interested on doing it on Instagram, let me know, and maybe I'll do like a mini Insta hop. Well, is that a thing, Insta hop? But maybe we'll do an Insta hop, and yeah, we'll see. Lena says we can get free mulch from the park and Rex department, but it's full of seeds from the woods, so weird stuff grows. Yeah, that happened to us when when we got some mulch from one of our neighbors. They had a bunch of mulch left over, and I had never had what it's called creeping thistle, and it's very, very pokey. It's very sharp, and it's not a pleasure at all to pull. And I'd never had it the whole time we had been there, and I'd put that mulch in, and we just got like overridden with it. And in my mind, sometimes like maybe I'm a little bit woo woo, but I kind of like listen to the plant allies, and that maybe sounds a little, you mean like do what you done do, but it's kind of like I think it's interesting because it's like if you if you believe in like energy, which I definitely believe in, it's about like fields, right? Like you have like your energetic field. And so if you have like good people in your life with good energetic fields, then you have a good fields together, and it makes exponential kind of growth and wonderful things. And if you have a negative element in your field, it can kind of weaken you and kind of diminish your own field, and it can kind of make it challenging. And so if you think that like other things have fields too, like plants and stones, and I know that some folks will go like, "What you talking about?" But it's kind of like I was reading a book about how everything has a signature, um, and it resonates at different frequencies, and there's all kinds of like it's kind of like pseudoscience. I don't know, but it makes sense to me. It's kind of like, you know, how it's 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 kind of in the idea of like animus, and how like everything has like a spirit to it. Anyway, so like if your field is, if you're in tune with like a place or something, then that will like affect the environment around you. So like when we first moved into this house, there was a lot of daisy fleabane growing, and it's most people think of it as a weed. We had a lot of daisy fleabane, and we had a lot of plantain, broadleaf plantain, which is not like the plantain, like the banana plantain that make the chips, or the delicious like fried ones that are kind of like sticky and gooey and like delightful. But there were all these like healing things. And so the daisy fleabane grows in areas that are disturbed. So like when people like go through and they like mow down stuff and they put concrete on stuff. And what it does is it helps repair the soil and restore nitrogen to the soil. So in my mind, if I'm looking around and this is in my environment, that's kind of like a healing thing. Like it's like, you know, you're being in a place of restorative growth, and you're in kind of this area that's about that kind of restoring yourself. And then like with plantain, it's a oftentimes used in medicinal things for skin and for burns, and it's also a healing plant. It's a species that was introduced from Europe, but doesn't it's not invasive. Um, and it's like a food you can eat in salads and pickles, the little fruiting bodies and stuff. And so not only does it like heal things, but it also is like a plant that you can live off of. So there were also, we had tons and tons of dandelions, and those are also kind of like a nutritious plant with phytonutrients, and they soak up the sun, and they always make me happy. I would rather see a yard full of dandelions than like just a green lawn, because it's just like you know, these beautiful flowers. But anyways, we got these creeping thistles, and for a while it's kind of like kind of mad about it because they're kind of hard to pull. But if you think about it, it was like they're very thistly and hard to pull and kind of jabby and pokey. And I think what it was is it was like this kind of call for protection and this kind of idea of needing to have these boundaries. So once I kind of embraced that within myself and started working on my own boundaries and things that kind of were important to me and kind of needing to do, the creeping thistle went away. So I think that's always interesting. And there's another thing, like I really wanted, like I got into paper making for a while, and I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but I was really making a lot of paper. And I went to a class with this wonderful artist named Katie Dement, and I said, "Oh, I want a white mulberry tree. I want one. I'm gonna go and try to get this white mulberry tree." Now, oftentimes they don't sell white mulberry trees because they're considered a nuisance plant because they grow really fast, and sometimes the berries can kind of be it attracts birds, and the birds poop, and then people don't like it, and it kind of spreads. And so sometimes people don't like them. And then lo and behold, we got this white mulberry tree growing out of nothing, and I need to transplant it before it gets too big. But I thought that was really miraculous. The same thing happened with this eastern spice bush. I really wanted an eastern spice bush, but since it's kind of like a native species that you don't really have around, I mean, it's like around, but it's not something that you can generally buy at like the Agway. They don't have like a stockpile of eastern spice bushes. And that just randomly came up. So I thought that was pretty wonderful. Let me see. I missed a bunch of comments. Julie's watching. Howdy, Julie. Dominion's watching. Howdy, Dominion. She said the removal of heavy metals is important for plants to be around there, but gotta be careful about eating. Yeah, you know, you do have to be, if you're gonna forage stuff, you have to be careful what's around. If it's like next to your where your car's parked, maybe skip it just because there's all kinds of stuff that gets, like stuff leaks and different things like that, and you have to be careful about that. But I have berry bushes and I eat the berries. We have grapes and I eat the grapes. So um, I cannot be too picky on certain things because I do. It's like just because one is cultivated doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to not soak up the environmental issues that a non-cultivated species will. But you have to. This is again not a medical channel, and I'm not giving advice on what people should or shouldn't do with their bodies. I always err on the side of safety because you don't necessarily want to get the diarrhea forever and then like poop your guts out and then be like, oh, but I saw it on Allegory Gallery, so it must have been fine. He's out in the woods picking mushrooms. No, I am doing that, but also don't pick anything that has like a lookalike. And we also are pretty careful about stuff like that. So um, use or beware. Anna says, hello all. I love the mulberry tree we had in Colorado. The berries were good and attracted birds. Yes, some people don't like the birds, so they don't want them, which I think is kind of wild. Um, um, on Instagram, Stop How Cook says this is actually my maiden and married name combined, pronounced Stoffel Cook. Oh, cool. Wendy Joe's watching. Howdy, Wendy. Um, oh, somebody's actually just talking about you in one of the groups that I'm in. There's a person in my cohort named Ellen, and she apparently has a bench at Metalworks, and somehow she knows you. So I think that's awesome how small the world is. Um, Dominion said there are old mining sites around western Pennsylvania, but in Ligonier, the worst area is probably Wilpin due to the mining, anyways. Um, Dominion says I was happy once I found a mulberry tree and made muffins with them, but then the landlord chopped it down. Well, that's harsh. Um, and I did not know this, but apparently backyard mines were like a thing. Um, like I always like a picture like mining as like as this big operation, and there's a lot of the towns around here. They had little mines that people like dug in their backyard, and they would bring coal, and they had like this person that would come around with like a cart, and then they would like weigh the coal, and then you'd like sell it like just like a farmer but with coal. And I didn't realize how prevalent that was in this area. But I was curious about why there were all these little towns. I was like, how come they didn't just make one big town instead of all these little towns all scattered around? And it was because there were sources of like mines, and then there were also like waterways, which they would then use for like energy. And then there were other places that would they have what are called coke furnaces, and you don't really I guess you don't really see them anymore unless you look for them. I don't think any of them are in operation, but they're like historic coke furnaces, which are these great big kind of like pillars of stone. And they would take the coal and then they cook the impurities out of the coal, and it makes what is called coke. And the coke is actually it burns. It's a cleaner fuel. And then like the slag or they call it in the blacksmithing world, they call it clinker because it's like a glass like silicate that comes out, and it makes it's kind of you don't want that because it's kind of gummy. And I guess that makes sense if you're talking about how if coal is like a plant and it soaks up all those kind of nutrients and it's got um, kind of silicates in them, then and minerals and stuff, and then that fossilizes, those minerals are still there. And then when you burn it, it's there again. It was interesting because I was watching this special about how glass is made, and one of the guys he went out to this salt marsh and found this plant called glasswort, which is this kind of plant that grows along like in the marshes, and they would burn it, and it would create oh, what does it create? It creates something that's a flux that helps melt the glass. Um, I want to say it's potassium nitrate, but don't quote me on that because that's probably the wrong thing. Suzanne is watching. Howdy, Suzanne. Lena says, energy is woo. Medical papers on consciousness are interesting. They have to acknowledge energy in the brain, but all they have are theories about how neural processes produce conscious experiences. Well, it's like, we know that the brain fires synapses and that it's kind of like an organic machine. So, why isn't there? Like, why wouldn't there be? I mean, just because it's not maybe scientifically proven yet doesn't mean it's not there. They have this in all different cultures. Like, they talk about things like halos and auras and um, different things like that where fields are kind of seen. So, um, I don't know. Dominion says, ton of strip mines around. I think the EPA or some government agency runs a site showing all about the mining routes to see if anything is or was around under your property. Yeah, I don't know all about the strip mining that goes on. I do know that it is way better than when we first moved here. When we first moved here, we would go to certain areas, and the water would be orange, and it was from the acid mine drainage. And I'm actually working on a project using that. One of the watersheds, they actually collect that yellow or that orange kind of uh, sludge, and they make it into a pigment, which there's actually sold to crayon companies. So, anyways, I got some, and I'm gonna do some enamel things with it. So I'm interesting to see how it works out. The botanical society that I'm involved with, I'm not as involved with it as much as I used to be, just because we've been so busy. But they did a really cool thing where they dyed these curtains using that acid mine drainage water, and it made these really cool kind of purples and bright kind of burnt oranges. And then once it was set fast into the fabric, it was safe or whatever. um, Dominion says heavy metals can hurt you if you eat a lot of, specifically some more than other homegrown produce. Well, I mean, I think all things are in balance, right? Like, if you don't, then you basically starve to death. So, like, if you don't, like, nothing is going to be as pristine as, like, even in wildcraft cultivation, there are things where, um, there are certain things that you have to be aware of, certain toxins and different things like that happen. But anyways, I digress. It's one of those things. I think you have to be careful with anything that you consume or put into your body or use as an art supply. Um, Otherwise, it's buyer beware. But I also think that if you are too careful about anything, then you're like walking outside or riding in a car in a city area, is potentially dangerous. So then where do you draw the line? Like, I think you have to be mindful in how you approach things, of course, but I also think that you have to also be willing to participate in the world around you, least you've been completely isolated. Like, what would you eat? Like, even water is like a big issue with like what's going into the water. And like, if you drink city water, there are all kinds of stuff in city water. If you live in a building that has pipes, so unless you're like like reverse osmosising your water from rainwater, which could have acid rain. So again, I'm not going to go into the doom scrolling talk now because that's no fun. But yeah, so Cindy's watching. Howdy, Cindy. Lena says that's what I mean. It is there, and they know, and they can't explain it. They can't explain the energy. Yep. So there you go. Um, let's see. Let's do a project. We'll turn this around. I have some goodies that I want to show you. William pulled them for me, but um, let's see, the ultra wide back camera. All right, let's put this there. That's not one bracelet. Dominion says, "Oh, it's all pretty much over now. Mining there, and many places are better, somewhat at least on the surface, or largely versus olden days, or I hope so." Yeah, some of the places around here are still kind of mitigating it. And that's why I get nervous about some changes because they kind of want to go back to kind of like do whatever you want. That causes problems. It takes generations to heal. So, you know, anyways, I'll put this up. And here's a penny if you want to look at a penny. And then let's see. I'll get. Oh, we have 18 folks watching. Maybe I should talk about like woo woo conspiracy stuff all the time. It's not really conspiracy theories, but maybe I should. Then we'll have like a gajillion people watching. I don't know. I don't know if I want that. Just enough so that we can keep doing the things we want to do. All right. Let's see. What should we work on? I've got a couple different things that we can work on. I always recommend when I'm doing kind of stuff on the fly like this, doing like um, bracelets because they're relatively quick. But I do believe a lot of stuff. Like, I don't like to work when I'm not in a good mood because I kind of think it transfers to the piece. I know some people, they're like, oh, that's so much privilege. And maybe that is. But for me, it's important to be kind of focused in kind of a mindful way and not be kind of like in a bad mood. Because I think that like stuff like takes on that energy. And I know that's probably sounds weird, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like if you've ever gone into a place that has bad energy, then it kind of like makes you kind of bristle on your hair and you kind of it stands up on the edge and you know something's not right. Like I've been in places where like I've people have been fighting, like arguing, and then like you go in and they're not arguing anymore and they've left the room, but it still feels kind of icky. And it's like that kind of emotional energy kind of clings to stuff. And this makes total sense to me. I do the same. Yeah, I think it's like it's almost kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy though. Like if you know that you only work when you're like in a good mood and then you go sit down to work, then it puts you kind of like in a good mood. So I used to teach a class on mindful making and basically is like cultivating a creative space and a practice, and it's all about like brain training in a way. So there are little different tricks that you can do to yourself to kind of put yourself in the mood to make. Like I'm really interested in why people make things and how to be like a more consistent maker because there's a lot of times when people rely on kind of like brilliant like the muses kind of descending on high from high and like lighting this light bulb in your brain and it just like you have to wait for that. The thing about that is like if you have to wait for that every time and you have to wait for that kind of lightning bolt moment, I feel like those moments come few and far between. And generally speaking, a lot of people are so busy doing the things that they do that they don't have the time to actually act on those kind of impulses when they have them. So if in my mind, the way that would be best to do that is to kind of cultivate a practice so that you are more consistently creative and more attuned to those things. So, for instance, like whenever you're working on something, listening to music or listening to an audiobook or whatever, every time you get to work, whenever it's like in your brain, whenever you hear that music, then it's almost like, when the dog hears the bell, the dinner bell, goes and runs to get the food, kind of like that, but except for people. Certain smells are also a trigger of memories. So, like lighting incense, if you can stand it, or if you like essential oils or a certain perfume, or even the scent of a material. So, say you are an author or a writer, and you pick up an old book and you smell it. Generally speaking, those things create kind of pathways and kind of wake up certain parts of your brain, and kind of brings you into a space of making. There's a wonderful artist named Robert Danzig, and he will do a singing bowl before every class. And he says that before he gets to work, he puts the singing bowl on and he uses the singing bowl. And I think that's a wonderful thing. It's a declaration that this is a time to be creative. But anyways, I could talk about that kind of stuff forever. Um, and it's interesting because we are kind of creatures of habit. And, you know, what is ritual? Ritual is any process or practice that can be repeated to create a specific or an intended result. And that's like, say, you are a sports fan and you like wear your favorite shirt whenever they play. That may be a superstition, but if it works, it works, right? So, like, if you are kind of creating a space for your own self to be creative, having that be a space that you are happy in and kind of feel safe in and feel ready to create, I think is really ideal. When you're in a situation where you feel threatened or you feel like you're in a place of violence, it's harder to activate those feelings of safety and security that you can then operate from. So, yeah. And it says atmosphere is heavy when you go into a room where anger has been recently. Yeah. And I don't know if there's like a science to that about like pheromones or, you know, a static cling charge or whatever. But I do think that that's real. Like sometimes people, like I used to have friends who would come over to our house when I was growing up, and they used to say that it was a haunted house. And it very well could have been, but I think also we were just so sad and nobody talked about it. And so there was all this like sad energy like in the walls. And so like my mom, I was talking to her the other day and she was talking about how happy we were back then. And I was like, I think you got confused. But I think it's one of those things, it's like rewriting the past to kind of, so I have these beautiful pearls and they're faceted kind of teal colored pearls. I think I want to use those. And it says, I'm trying to be more intentional with creativity. In past, I've gone with creative urge when it comes, but now I'm trying to set aside time to be creative even when I don't feel it. Yeah, I think that's another thing, setting time and space aside. Um, there are so many people who talk about having a space and time to work is what enabled them. Well, I have these beautiful, the Peruvian opal. I like that flavor. Um, but Yeah, so they have this. They talk about having like a room of her own, and having like, because of having that space, they had that independence. I have these lovely agates. I think I'm going to use. Um, and look at these, mommy, daddy, baby. That's nice. Um, Moonstone, y'all. Um, so anyway, so having a dedicated time and space is also useful. But basically, it's just, whatever works, right? So there are ways of tricking your mind into thinking that it's time to work. So, like for me, I put on an apron whenever I'm getting ready to work. I notice when I don't put the apron on, I am still creative, but I may be not as creative as when I do actually put it on. And I don't know if that's a real thing or if it's just in my head, but it doesn't really matter as long as it works, right? So these are some really lovely moonstone. I have a little cache of them that I love. I think I'm going to do something with them over here. Some moonstone and some faceted freshwater pearls and some agates. This is basically designing itself. Um, when I was kind of coming up in the bead world, I was mostly known for my asymmetrical designs, because a lot of the designs that were out there were all very symmetrical. And so that's kind of one of the ways that I kind of got my footing in the publishing world for beads and jewelry making, is because of, I kind of filled a niche gap. And I think that's something that's important for like folks who are trying to like have a career out of this, is like, what is the question? Like, what question is there, and how can you uniquely answer that? And I think once you figure out those answers, those will help you when times get hard. And usually, always, it will be at some point in time. If you have a small business, things will get hard in some way. Um, so when they do get hard, knowing those answers can be really beneficial, because then it can alleviate a lot of heartache and a lot of like, I feel pressure. And this is beautiful stones. Thanks. Cindy says, I'm working on a keychain project for my granddaughter's graduation in June. I'm stuck on the design. I can't seem to get them to hang freely. So I have to put it aside for a few days. Yeah, sometimes that's good. And if it's not coming to you and it feels like a real chore, unless you're on like some kind of deadline, I think it's good sometimes to give yourself grace, and then be able to kind of you know, be able to work the way you need to work. Um, because sometimes if you try to force it, it doesn't want to come. At least that's my experience. So I am going to try. Sometimes what I do is I will lay out a pattern and it will be mostly symmetrical, but then I start playing with it and I start moving things around. And I, generally speaking, don't use a bead board usually. I know some people, they love their bead board and they can't live without it. And I can see the appeal of that, because then you will know how to measure stuff. Um, but I, generally speaking, don't necessarily use a bead board when I'm working. But I also have been doing this a long time, so it just comes naturally to me. And then I'm not opposed to taking things apart. So I know some folks don't like to take stuff apart at all. They're like, oh my gosh, I spent all this time putting this together. It has to be that way for all times and eternity. And if it's not, then the deep sadness. And in my mind, I'm like, whatever. It's just beads. Just take it apart. Um, so right now I'm laying out a pattern. It's fairly symmetrical at this point. There's what I like is that these faceted freshwater pearls kind of mimic the faceted, the simple cut kind of moonstone, and the smooth shapes are then they kind of contrast with the faceted shapes. So there's a little bit, I think there's something nice when you can add a little bit of contrast. I think what it does is it kind of grounds it, or kind of shows off the unique characteristics of those materials. And sometimes you don't necessarily see those differences until you put it up against something that is different. Like you can't see the characteristics. It's kind of like eating food and it never kind of spicing it up, and all the food kind of like just is tastes the same, and it's kind of um, almost takes on a blandness. But when you interject different kind of cuisines or spices or flavors or colors or things, then even the mundane things then take on their own unique kind of characteristics. And then you can compare and contrast, and you can kind of say, well, this cuisine, you do this, and then this one, you do that. And I like this because I like things that are sweeter. And you can then kind of break down the characteristics. So I think it's always good to have that. And when we talk about things like diversity and I'm not trying to go too political, but I think when we talk about things like diversity, it helps because it does when a new element is introduced that you may not be familiar with. It is something that allows you to not only appreciate what you have even more, but it also introduces you to new things and maybe start new traditions for yourself, or to have new flavors, or I think it's almost like when you taste something that you haven't tasted before, like a new meal, you can be transported around the world and you never have to go anywhere. You can just, enjoy something and learn about it and read about where it comes from and who makes it and what kind of cultural significance it may have. Like some dishes are party dishes that are meant to be shared at special occasions, or some things are made only for like special occasions and are very rarely made. And there's reasons why, whether it's the time of year and the availability of certain produce, or I think it's just super fascinating when we have things that are around us that kind of introduce new ideas and thoughts to ourselves, and then we can then kind of learn more about who we are. So anyways, there you go. So I think this is going to be really kind of charming. Let me see if I have another element in here that I can introduce that kind of jazz this up. I have a little baggie of AG fine pewter. I kind of like this. We have a dragonfly, and I really like it. Oh, I see. Nancy Noyes is watching over on Instagram. Howdy. It's been a while. And Jenna Fleur is watching. Howdy. But this one is one of the AG Fine Pewter beads. And I think instead of this one, I might do this. And instead of that one, I might go and swap that. So I'm trying to think in patterns. So maybe I'll put this one here. I'll change this out. So I have 1, 2, 3. This one. I'll put this here. I may put this in between that, so there's a little bit of a break. Either that or move this over here to this side. And I kind of like to think in patterns in the sense that, like, if I do something on one side, then I have to do it maybe not necessarily directly on the other side, but yeah, I like that. All right, now I'll string it up. That's where the proof is in the pudding. Now, I also like to do something where I incorporate kind of a unifying element. So these little spacers, I love the metal spacers. I'm going to use those, and I think that's going to be nice. I have soft wax, and it's in this kind of purpley color. I like that flavor. You won't see but peaks of it, but I think that's nice. And so what I'll do is I'll string this up. I think I have some clasps downstairs that I want to use. So I may run downstairs and get a drink real fast. And I think this will be nice because the one beads are kind of transparent. So you'll get to kind of see that core a little bit. That's another thing that I like to play with, if I can, is to play with elements of light and translucency and transparency. So that's where I love glass, and I would love to get kind of a something going at Corning or Pittsburgh Center for Glass, and maybe do some larger glass pours or something, but we'll see. So Cindy said that she's working on a keychain. What are y'all working on? Are y'all working on any projects in particular? And so far, we've been pretty lucky with all the holes being pretty ample, which is good. Sometimes, especially with some of the vintage beads, the holes can kind of be wonky sometimes. But I mean, you can get new stuff and the holes are wonky. But I kind of like it when it just all slips on. Suzanne said, necklaces and earrings. How's Mardi Gras? Are you in the middle of it still? How much more do you have left to do? Now, when I said that, then look, I got one that got stuck. That's okay. I'll just swap it out for a different one. And now here's the thing. Like, I have been doing Suzanne says over as of last midnight. So is it like a ghost town now? Or are there still people? Is today is Ash Wednesday. Happy Ash Wednesday if you celebrate that. So all right. So this is something where I've been going every other for that as kind of the unifying element. But I kind of like sometimes when there's like a bead cap on like the focal bead. I don't know how I feel about that. So put that in your mind as an option. And it says, I'm playing with my Hestonite pebbles. I don't like anything yet. I'm still debating on a focal or not. Yeah, sometimes when you just have a nice stone, you just want to use the nice stone. I've also designed things where you leave it open enough so that you can put one on later. So here's the two differences. So this is with this spacer, and then this is without the spacer. I kind of like it with the spacer. Cindy says, I really have to get busy with them. I have 32 of them to do. So tomorrow I will have a sit down and figure it out. It's not so much the design, it's the hanging part. Ugh. Dale said, made a wire wrap bracelet and a pair of earrings last night during the live. I'll post later and you can tell me what stone. Like, hold on a second. Oh, sorry. My phone said that my phone was almost out of battery and it was been plugged in. So it doesn't show the charging symbol when I have StreamYard open. So I had to turn it on the side to access that. So back to what Dale was saying, I made a wire wrap bracelet and a pair of earrings last night during the live. I'll post later and you can tell me what stone the biggest are. They are from Allegory Gallery. I first learned these wire wrap bracelets many years ago and used sterling or gold wire, but a little rusty. Use hematite color beadsmith 22 gauge wire. Oh, good. Sounds like a nice project. So I think I'm going to go with the spacer. At first I was like, I don't know. I wonder if William's watching. Is William watching? If William's watching, maybe I can convince him to bring me a drink. Sweet tea. I'm in the mood. The cool thing about these dragonfly beads is they're slightly drilled off center, so it looks like they're flying. See how that goes? And then Dale says nuggets. I didn't ask what y'all eating for dinner tonight. What y'all eating for dinner? Anything good? I think we're gonna maybe have some leftover. There's a pizza that William's mom brought for the fundraiser for the kids. So we might eat that, but we should really eat. I made some curry that we really need to eat before it goes bad. So we probably are gonna have to do that if it hasn't gone off already. And because we were making goodies, so he was on a roll making not necessarily junk food, but stuff that's a little bit quicker. I got in the mood for these snack wraps, and I love myself a snack wrap. And we use these baked chicken nuggets, and he puts lettuce and tomatoes, and oh, there it goes. For a second, I was like, someone said pasta Alfredo. Oh, good. That sounds good. Cindy says we had mashed potatoes and ribs. Nice. Dale said a tuna bowl with fresh veggies and a boiled egg. Oh, good. That sounds good. William says, "Yep, on my way home. Can you get me a sweet tea, William, please? Thank you." I don't know if they're open. If anything will be open. If not, I guess you could make me some hot tea and then we can put some ice cubes in it. But my throat is starting to feel dry, like the Sahara. Right, that's not going on. Let me see if this one. If not, I can dig around and see if I have a few extra. So right now I'm just stringing up the design that we laid out. I love stringing. As many new techniques as we get into, or I get into, I always love stringing. It's something that it connects me to this kind of like mindful state where I don't know, I just feel like a little bit, it's like a meditation almost. And I like that kind of, that it's almost like bead praying where I can kind of get into the zone. Now, sometimes the other thing is that if this gets all kind of blunted up and chewed up, see how it's kind of a little bit chewed up on the edge there? Sometimes you need like a sharp, something sharp, and you cut it, and it'll be a little bit sharper needle to go in the hole. So let me see. To get the cutters, I need to make a stash of tools just for this room that never leave this room. Because I feel like I'm always on the hunt. And what usually it is, usually we are going somewhere, doing something, and I'm like, oh, I'll need these tools. And then they end up at the cottage, and then they're not here, or they're in a different part of the house. So then I trim off the little excess. Cindy says, I'm with you, Andrew. I don't use a beadboard for designing. I feel like it just makes my brain hurt, lol. I'd rather just lay it out on a mat and change the design if need be. Yeah, I think it's for me, it's, I don't know. I just, well, when I first learned how to do this, I didn't have one. And I was too broke for a bead mat. And I was like, if I'm going to get some, I'd rather buy beads instead of a mat. And so I just didn't have it. And then I just got used to it. I generally, when I'm on a big maker kick for stringing, I generally string stuff on the floor. And I know some of y'all are like, do what? But it's true. I string everything all out. And then I make little piles and these little clusters of ideas, basically. And then I go from little pile to little pile and I start working. I don't know what it is, but that's how I work. All right, so I got to put one of these in. And then maybe this one. And then there is a bag that I need to get downstairs. And then also, if you have a ruler, then you can use a ruler to see. This is just shy of 8 inches, so it's getting on the longer side. I guess it depends how big your wrist is, but or who you're designing for. But I think I can do the one more bead and we should be good. I don't want to make too big and then nobody can wear it. Also, not too small because it's on the other spectrum of that. Generally speaking, I will always eventually sell them, but sometimes it takes a while. So, one of my friends, she makes only big jewelry for. She said, I live in the South and I know my customers, and they are not these petite waif girls. They're sturdy girls like me. And she said, the reason why I started making jewelry is I could never find anything that fit me. And so she went and all her jewelry is all for bigger sizes, and she does a really good job. Like her clientele is very loyal, and she does very well. She has one of these things. It's like she has a, it's called an open house, and so she has an open house before the holidays, and she has two of them. She has one that she does for the husbands, and she does one for the wives, and she does one the one for the wives first, and then she does the one for the husbands. And she has one, and the one is like at night. The ladies' night is the late night, and then the dude one is for, I think it's, she does in the afternoon. But she said it's like a whole different thing. But so what she then does is then she points out stuff that people are looking at to their significant others, and then she sells that. So she's pretty smart, and she's been doing it for a while. I don't know if she's picked up any other new shows because she quit her job and she's just doing this now full time. But it's smart. Know your customer and what they like, and be able to provide that. And it says, I find spreading my project out on a mat or tray helps me find happy accident combos that I did not see. So I get that, and I oftentimes have like, that's what the floor becomes, one great big mat, I guess. But I do this thing where I have these trays, these cooking sheets, where I just put all these different things, and you kind of dig through and then find those happy accident combinations. And goodness knows I've got plenty of those. Let's see. I have a spammer going on. Oop. I don't know if we lost Instagram. Hold on. A spammer going on. Okay, I think we're still there. But I had to remove the spam because I don't like to put that on our videos because it could be like, you know, child porn or something. So, all right. So I'm gonna run downstairs real fast and get the clasp. I have these wonderful vermeil clasps that I just love, and yeah, I love them. So why not use them? Alright, I'm back. Did y'all miss me? Maybe a little bit. Alright, so these are the vermeil so I'm out. The gold-plated silver. And I think those would be great in this project. The gold is a little bit more yellow, but I don't care. I still like it. Now, I also like to do hooks. So these ones, I do love to do a hook clasp, like an S clasp kind of thing, or a hook clasp, because it's less likely to come undone. You got, it's less likely to come undone like that. So I don't know. Maybe this one or one of those hooks. Susan says yummy. I agree. It's nice. What do y'all think? That kind of is a little bit big. I think maybe for a necklace, this would be fine. But that's a little bit big. And I don't mean that by they might fall apart. So sometimes if your toggle is too big and you put it onto something too small, it has a more likely chance of falling off. And then it becomes the streets. It belongs to the wild, wherever you lost it. I have a little tray of end findings and metal stuff. And it was here on the floor, but I can't find it. It has to be somewhere. Oh, there's another tray that I was looking for. Yeah, I don't know where I went. Anyways, that's... I'll look around. With Williams here, or coming back soon, maybe I'll look if he can come here. Cheryl says, I dislike beading boards too. I swap out colorful scarves and bandanas for my workspace depending on my mood. That's a good idea. Dale says, I like it. I want to mix more stones in my nugget bracelet, but was practicing something simple last night. And then Cheryl had a spell check thing. Our spell check has been getting wild, y'all. Let me tell you. I've noticed because a lot of the things that I try to spell, it autocorrects it into incorrectly spelled words, and then it doesn't highlight the words with red. You know how it used to? Like if you had a word that was misspelled, it would highlight it. Well, it doesn't do that anymore. So I was writing and I had to go back and like fix a bunch of typos. And I was like, I did not make those typos. I was in Miss Rainey's typing class and I did not make those typos. Yeah, I noticed the spell check or the autocorrect was changing it, and it was changing it into misspelled words. I was like, if you're gonna change it, at least change it to a word that's spelled right. All right. So I don't know how close William is to being here. And I think they have added AI to spell check now. Well, the AI needs to get with it because it keeps changing it. So it makes me sound like I'm not very smart. And I'm like, is that its plan to discredit me? AI nightmare. I don't know. Let's see. I like it. We'll look closer at this. And my lens is probably dirty. Well, I'm always talking about how my lenses are dirty. And he's like, how do they get dirty? And it's like, well, I use art supplies all the time. I think that makes it better. There's not that like halo, that fog, like you driving at night. I kind of wish that I would have switched something out. Maybe put a bigger bead over here, so that's not too late. And the reason why is it kind of looks like a little, you know what I mean? It's all like white, blue, white, blue, white, blue, jazz, jazz, white, blue, white, blue, white, blue. So I may want to break that out by putting something here. Maybe something either gold or something kind of this minty or lighter color. I mean, I don't hate this because it is it's just a little bit more subtle. And that's like supposed to be a special bead right there. Let's see. So stopping to get you some sweet tea. Oh, good. Dominion says, I tried AI for the first time in DuckDuckGo. I don't know what DuckDuckGo is. And this is, it's pretty like the dragonfly off center drilled. Thanks. Let's see. I do think I want to change this out. I'm sure I got something around here that fits perfect. I do have this lovely fluorite. Like this green fluorite. Maybe that. Ooh. Mommy, daddy, baby. That might be the thing. Let's do that. And this is kind of a dreamy bracelet if you think about it. You've got all these moonstones, and fluorite is for dreams. Ooh, that's the stuff, y'all. That's the stuff. The applesauce. The good applesauce, too. I think that's nice. You know, we've been watching this Korean cooking competition show, and I have been like ravenously hungry every single night. I don't even know what half the ingredients are, but I am still like salivating. And it says, I like mint bits or gold in larger size. Fluorite is a lovely addition. I think that's the sauce, y'all. That's the sauce. Mm-hmm. You know, one of the things I like about stringing is that, and kind of designing in general, is when you find the right combination, it's almost like you solved a puzzle, and then you get like a hit of dopamine. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, or if I just made that up. But isn't that pretty? I think that's nice. I was a little bit, I didn't know how I felt about this because it's kind of sticks out. And generally speaking, I'll usually like it to be a little bit not stick out. And it says, yes, dopamine designing. Maybe that's my new channel, dopamine designing, with Andrew Thornton of Allegory Gallery. Doing it says, yep, when something just clicks. Yeah, I think this turned out good. All right. I can't find my box of clasps though. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. Because I think the other one's a little bit too big. People are going to think that I don't know how to finish a bracelet because I never finished the bracelets on camera. Like this one, people are like, does he know how to crimp? Or is he phoning a friend? Dominion says, I need that channel. So then says, hello again. Did y'all switch to YouTube? I know some of y'all have been on YouTube. I do like this style of a clasp because it doesn't come apart. But I have to go dig around. I want a little bit chunkier. I can make my own, but I also have other stuff to do in my life, so I'm gonna go when William gets here. I'm gonna go off, and then is that him or the wind? It's been real windy here. So anyways, we're going to have some random lots tonight, all kinds of goodies. So I know some of y'all tune in for the design part, and then some of y'all just tune in for the bead buy-in. So we'll get into the bead buying pretty soon. I don't know what letters we're gonna pick for our lots tonight. He has a way of looking them up that I don't know how to do. But he makes all the spreadsheets, so he knows how to do that. So once he gets here, we'll pick some letters for our lots tonight, and then we'll get started. I think we'll have about 30 or so lots tonight. William was showing me the things he brought, and they're all kinds of random things. So I think folks will like them. So if you missed the very beginning of this video, we talked about a couple different things. One of the things that we talked about was, I'll play with this on camera so you're not just sitting here looking at the same board, is we started talking about how I'm a guest poster for, I used to call it guest blogger, but since it's not really a blog, for cohort.arts. If you go to their Instagram, you can see the things that I've been posting. You can also go to my Instagram, which is Andrew Thornton Artist. And I've been inviting myself as a collaborator there so that so that I'm posting for both places and not just in one, which is kind of nice. So I've been doing that. We also talked about relaunching the book club, but in a very much more scaled down way. So we're just going to pick one book, and it's going to be The Stone Witch of Florence, and that's going to be our March book. And then we're going to talk about it at the end of March, and we're going to make something inspired by what we read. I don't have any other books selected for the rest of the year. Normally we pick the whole year, but with my travel schedule, I'm going to be all over Hillendale, and I didn't want to start picking a bunch of stuff and then not being able to do it. So We're going to have that at the end of this March. We'll post a link in case you need it. I know a couple of folks have already gotten it. It is a newer book, so I don't know if it's hit the library circuit yet, but it seems to be getting pretty good sales. So generally speaking, the like New York Times bestseller list usually gets picked up by a lot of libraries. But it's called The Stone Witch of Florence, and we'll be making stuff and talking about it at the end of the month. And we'll post exact dates coming up pretty soon. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is we're thinking of doing the design challenge again. This is not a competition one, but it's going to be one of the ones that we make a design challenge kit. We'll sell it, and then folks have time to make something. And I think we're going to try to schedule it for April, the reveal in April, so that you have plenty of time to for us to ship it out and for you to make stuff. So that's going to be uh, in April. So we'll send out details on that as well. Now we've got a couple different things going on in the online store. William added a couple new things. He was at the cottage today shipping stuff. I was here at the house kind of doing the Instagram stuff that I needed to do for the cohort.arts. But yeah, and then I don't know how I feel tonight. I kind of been feeling a little bit headachy. We've been having a lot of changes in the weather lately. So that's kind of been making me less than like optimal. And so I have not been able to go. I don't know if I'll go to the tonight or if I'll go tomorrow. Um, so I'll try to go for a little bit tonight to finish up some work so that we have a nice ample show. And yeah, so we got a couple things going on. Right. Susan says, Susie, our neighbor says, I love watching you create. Well, thank you. Dale says, thanks for the design lesson. I enjoy these. Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know, sometimes I think it's too basic sometimes for people. Like, I'm always wondering if I'm giving you enough to kind of like be entertained. But people say they like it. So, I'm not opposed to doing more of these things. I don't know if y'all want to hear me ramble on about energy fields and stuff like that. I do think it's nice for me personally. It does help my life. Donna says, hello, Andrew. I'm so very late because my son came by for a visit. The bracelet is beautiful. Well, Donna, we're just getting started with the lots tonight. You did miss us working on the bracelet, but I don't know. We'll see. Mona says, I do. Dominion says, oh, I do. Oh, good. Well, that's nice. I'll start talking all the woo woo. And it says, I think it's a good design lesson. I'm listening as I sort beads. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad that's helpful. I kind of, we definitely have to do the live sales the way that we're doing them. Before, back in the day, we were pulling in a good number of sales in the physical store, so it didn't pressure us as much to do the online sales as much. So I feel like we used to do more like tutorials and more like how-to things. And unfortunately, we just have to keep going with the live sales every weekday night because we're not pulling in the same numbers that we were before. So, and since William's job burned down, his other job, we've been forced to kind of, have to work in a different way. Before I used to do more of these tutorials, and we used to have a little bit more flexibility with that kind of stuff, but now usually we have to do some kind of sales, otherwise it's trouble times. So I don't want that. We have been thinking about different ways that we can kind of like economize. Like we were talking about maybe, and this doesn't sound like economizing, it sounds like a big project, but getting kind of like a modular home and putting it over at the cottage. I don't mind like modular homes. I know some people, they turn their nose up at them, but they're real nice, especially modern day ones. I mean, if you didn't know if it came prefabricated or not, um, you might not know. I mean, one of my friends, they said that they can tell because of like the quality of the building materials. But some of the ones I've been in were real nice, and like they tiled the backsplashes and stuff, and they looked real good. And they picked their own custom tiles and stuff, so it looked real nice. And they've got it a while ago, and it's holding up pretty good. So I don't know. So that's one thing. We were thinking about that at the cottage, maybe, because I think to the point where in the summertime I'm starting to travel more and to teach and to take classes and do things. So it's a little bit trickier. Oh, hallelujah.
What?
Hallelujah.
What?
You're here.
You know what you're doing.
I'm so excited. Well, I didn't want to start without you.
Oh, but you can. It's all right.
No, because I didn't know what numbers to pick. So.
Oh.
Dale said, I live in a modular tiny home, even a shipping container. Yeah, they're so nice. Donna says, I finished a necklace today and made a couple of memory wire bracelets this afternoon. And Dominion says, I need to go look at the site again. And she said, a few of my friends growing up had the same type of log cabin kits, and they were nice. Yeah, I like them. Classy.
With a sweet tea.
Yeah, hit the spot. I've been missing it. Do you think I skipped on sweet tea at John C. Campbell? I had that every meal.
Oh, did you?
Except for breakfast. I drank ample amounts of coffee.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Did you bring anything?
No. I'm trimming. I trimmed last week, and I made 6 new things this week.
Oh, good.
So they'll go into the bisque. My other stuff didn't come out of the bisque yet, so I couldn't. Well, I could have glazed, but I wanted to make new stuff. So I have 3 things on the shelf to glaze. I think I have 5 things going into the bisque, and then next week I'll have 6 things to trim.
Oh, good.
Yeah. How's everyone doing? How are y'all? What's happening, everybody? Donna says, hello, William. Hello.
I'm drinking my sweet tea.
How's it going tonight?
I think I need a new dot. Where did you put the dot before?
Huh? The base of your neck.
No, where did you put it? The one they were gonna give me.
Oh, they're back in the vitamin cabinet.
Oh,
right.
I just put the old one on.
Oh, it doesn't work that way.
What does it have to be fresh?
Yes.
Why?
They say they only last like 12 hours, 12 to 24 hours.
What is it?
I don't know.
Somebody spit on it?
There's no medication in it. Did it work as well, though?
It seems like it's working. I must be unique.
You're unique. I put a fresh one on last night and put it back here, and that helped a lot.
Well, I wanted to take a shower, and he hit me up right before I went to take a shower.
Yes, I just put him back in the vitamin cabinet.
And then I didn't know where you were, and I didn't want to wake you up.
No, don't wake me up.
You're like, William.
William, where's my dot?
Where's my leg?
William, where's my dot?
William.
Oh. Donna had a nice visit with her son, so I haven't been watching for long. Me either, Donna. I just started watching on my trip home. Oh.
We talked about energy fields, restorative earth.
Restorative earth, energy fields. Ooh, you're getting all... Oh, I don't know. What's the word for it up in here?
Woo-woo.
Woo-woo, that's a word for it, for sure.
Now that I have a tea, I feel life forcing back into
Oh,
my
you feel
veins.
better now? Did you clean your lens?
No, probably not. I tried, but...
Use the microfiber cloth.
I just used my shirt.
There, look how clean it is now.
And here's the other light.
Oh, yes.
I took that down because I was tired of playing limbo.
I know.
Hand me the papers, bro.
Here you go.
With letters.
Oh, let me see. I didn't look that up on the drive here.
Good.
Let's see. Let's do YR.
YR, the Young and the Restless?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
YR lots. Dominion says, hi, William. I'm okay right now. How are you? I'm okay right now, too.
Who's ready?
I had to stop and get the cats food before my class. So I was a little late to my class.
Oh.
Later than usual.
What did Amy say?
She's like, I was just going to text because you're later than usual. And then she looked down and saw my text to her that said, later than usual. It is raining out there. And then when I got home, I had to go find the garbage bins because they got blown away, and I put them in the garage. One was up the side of the house here, you know, like it blows up, and then the other one was on the other side of the flower bed in the back. No, they got blown away. It's windy.
Because it wouldn't blow there naturally.
Yeah. Yeah, I've found them there before. Yeah.
Well, show it.
I'm showing it. Do y'all know how to do this? No. If you'd like to purchase from this video, take down the lot number. That's YR1 in this case. This is the price of them. This is how many there are of each one at that price. Take down the lot number, put it in the subject line or the body of an email, and hit send. Address that email first to info@allegorygallery.com. Please, please, please send a new email every time. Do not reply to old emails to send new emails. All right, that's it. That's all I gotta do. Oh, somebody's talking to us. Gertie.
She's frantic on me.
Donna says, I missed the rest of last night's show, but I was under a severe thunderstorm warning. Thankfully, it wasn't bad, and I got to bed at 10. Nice. You can always rewatch these. Remember, Facebook will soon be deleting all previous videos, previous lives that are more than 30 days old. So if you're watching on Facebook, you will have to watch within 30 days.
They're probably from us.
On YouTube, however, you can watch as far back as about 3 or 4 years since we started doing lives. They're all there.
How many lives does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know how many. It probably will tell us. Let's see how many lives are in the live tab of our YouTube channel. So these are check glass, mostly leaves, a whole kit or luxury bead blend of check glass, vintage check glass leaves. So there are 2 of these available. They're $10 each. YR1. Yeah, that goes for anyone. You can always rewatch. We generally will only hold pricing for about a week. And if there's special pricing, we'll tell you in the live if it's like less than that, less time than that. But generally, we'll hold the pricing for at least a week. Let's see. How many are in the live tab? Do they tell us? Live videos. Oh, I don't think they show. Oh, 835.
We must have done more than that.
About 835. Well, there's 365 days in a year. So that would be about 3 years worth, 4 years worth, something like that. Yeah, and some of them.
There are some on
Some
Facebook
we started. Yeah, we started on Facebook because we didn't have YouTube yet. So that's 835 just that we've been doing on YouTube. Tracy says, hello, Tracy says, I'm running late, but at least I didn't miss all of your live. Thank you for reminding me I can watch your replays on YouTube. Yes, you can watch replays on YouTube and Facebook. Both places are available. YouTube's kind of nice because you can kind of scrub through it if you want to scrub to a certain part, but you can watch them both in both places or watch them in both places. And like I said, you can still, even if you watch the replay, you can email us to see if things are still available, like the next day or the day after, up to about a week or so. We'll still have those lots available generally for you. All right, so this is YR1, $10. Two of them. Nobody got these. Nobody. I know. Nobody wants to check glass leaf, vintage check glass leaf, bead blend,
Somebody said that they wanted leaves yesterday.
Well, then you must not be watching today, because nobody got these yet, unless our email's acting up. That's always a thing too.
Oh no, Cornelius.
Oh no, Cornelius. All right.
How about some Kazuri beads? We haven't done those in a while.
I know, people really love those too, and we seem to show them. So.
All right. So.
Hello, Cindy. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Oh, I meant to put lotion on my hands and I didn't.
There should be lotion here.
There's lotion there, but I don't want to do it before. I meant to do it at the place.
So these were $3 a piece,
which is a dang good price.
And now they're $2.50.
$2.50.
But you gotta buy them both.
Yeah, we're gonna make you buy them both. I'm gonna put this up here. It seems like this always works. Let me get reorganized here a little bit. Let's get reorganized here a little bit. Get these lights going. Move this around a little bit here. So these are Kazuri beads. Africa. They're a specific type of bead. They look very similar. They're made out of ceramic. I love these. I think they're really cool. And you get two of them for $5. You must buy both. YR2. 22.1 millimeters by about 24. So 22 by 24 approximately. This is the two-tone in the yellow and kind of green. Bluey green. Mossy green. YR2. Everyone doing well tonight? Hope so. Hope you're all staying safe out there with the wild weather coming across the country.
You know who came up on the Instagram?
Who?
Well, there was a couple. Tanya Crane.
Tanya Crane?
You know how I have love for Tanya Crane.
I know. Did she say hi?
No.
No.
Nancy Noyes. Remember her?
Nancy Noyes Ward?
I don't think that's Ward anymore.
Oh.
Remember?
No.
I think she got divorced.
I didn't know that. Oh my. All right. More Kazuri. You get this pair for $5. YR3. These are beautiful. Ceramic.
I should keep these.
What? Oh, I know. I saw those. I was like, I forgot about those.
Those are so nice.
I know. We'll see if he keeps them or if he shows them to y'all. Denise, I just started wearing readers and my mom yelled at me not to use a cloth except microfiber or something because maybe it can scratch. I don't know. Microfibers clean them really well. They trap dirt and debris well. They feel weird though. Especially if you've got dry skin. They really feel weird because they grab onto your skin. But they are very nice for cleaning lenses and whatnot. YR4. Another pair of Kazuri. I can't believe these are still here. Normally people grab the Kazuri beads real fast. Real fast. These are YR4, $5 for the pair.
This have good energy.
He's like, he's got good energy, y'all.
It improves your energetic health.
There you go. Oh, you are letting them go. Okay, YR5. Beads from Africa, by the way, are going up and up and up in price, y'all. So
you know, I don't think because I would get them from a woman's collective. I don't think they have it. She does it anymore.
So here's what Andrew was not going to give up.
This heavy.
These are big, heavy bags.
So much good energy.
Of gold-colored materials.
Some of it's, I think most of it, a majority is gold-plated.
Gold-plated. Let me just dump a little bit out here just to show you a little bit of what you might get in these bags. There are 5 bags available. They're only $15 a bag. You're going to get, most likely, you're going to get, or you have the possibility of getting, these are about 5mm round spacers. You have 6.5mm round spacers. You got these almost 11mm dimpled spacers. You have these 9.5mm spacers. You have these kind of lantern. Let me see if I can grab that. These are bigger than that, I think. I just got it on the wrong edge. Come on. Let's see. Let's put them down. I was trying not to do that. All right, let's go with this. This is these melon 5mm melon spacers. Then you've got, where are these lantern ones? These lantern ones like this. And those are approximately 5mm as well. You've got all these different kinds of these brushed. Oh, I love these brushed ones. These, I need to buy one of these bags myself so I can use these brushed ones in a design.
There's a lot of goodies in there.
There's a lot of goodies in here. And then you got these large hole pony bead like ones.
We get people who ask for like spacers all the time.
Yeah, especially gold. We've been having a lot of people asking for them. Let me see if there's anything else in here I missed. That's
all the time.
Yeah, that's a good selection of what you're probably going to get in each one of these bags. And you get the whole bag. You get the whole bag full of them. That's enough for quite a few designs. And they're nice quality.
And you know I love them.
They're nice quality.
Use them tonight.
Yep. I've used a bunch of these, especially these two. Oops. These two sizes I use a lot in my recent designs that I made too.
If you get the kit last night, then some of those beads coordinate. Not kit,
bead blend.
Bead blend. Hey, can you hand me them cutters? I just need to glue these on. Edward's hips so they're
glue them on to yourself. We've sold 1 bag of these so far. Thank you so much. The email must be working. I better check the spam. I gotta check that too.
That makes me kind of nervous though. I'm like, nobody's claiming anything.
I know. Let me see.
I think it's because I'm here.
Oh.
You know, you did pretty well last night, it seemed like.
He's like, you just want to do it by yourself, William?
I could go to the cottage.
Huh.
Leave you to it.
Leave you to it. See how he is, y'all?
Truth teller?
Truth teller, the teller of truths. Here's YR6. Talk about a deal. These are African glass. You're not going to see those for $12 a strand anymore. I highly doubt. African glass beads. These is it sandcast?
That's sandcast.
These are sandcast. Sandcast African glass. Really cool kind of brick red. A little bit of gray green in there.
It almost looks like that bow light.
Really cool color. Beautiful. Like I said, it's a really pretty one. And these are long strands, everybody. These are, I don't know, about 24, 25, 26-inch strands, somewhere in there. And the beads are 6.5 millimeters.
We're gonna have to do something because I'm getting itchy. Everything's closing in.
I know. I pulled a bunch out today. Took some stuff away. 7.7 millimeters long. Ann says Andrew has a book to finish. Just 12 minutes.
Oh no.
12 minutes of your book left.
Oh no.
What'd you do? You went to bed before the book finished?
I was getting too tired, and it's no good if I'm too tired because then.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? Then I listened to the book and I was like, what happened?
$12 only, everybody. YR6.
Who said that?
YR6 has sold. Thank you so much.
Who's advocating for me?
That was Ann.
Ann Schroeder.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find a prize in your package. Thank you for participating.
I'm trying to get him to be able to escape me.
He said, I can't quit you.
I can't quit you. I can't quit this. Look at this. This is cubic zirconia.
This is the last of it. Besides, when we got this, there's multiple. Like, this is a very special thing. I bought these from somebody and they didn't know. They knew they were there, but I don't think they it registered in their mind. And then the light hit them, and they're like, "Oh,
look at these, everybody! Look how pretty these are. These are amethyst colored cubic zirconia. They're $28 a strand. That's a really good deal for. I mean, this is the stuff they make fake diamond rings out of. This is good stuff.
Very sparkly.
Yeah, look at it sparkling at you.
This is bewitching me from across the room.
Move that cat hair out of there. Kitty glitter.
It's got its own glitter.
Right, it doesn't need the extra. But look at that.
Now, we do have one more color.
Oh, do we?
That is very similar. So if you want to show the next lot also.
Okay, let me show the next lot too.
This one is redder and this one is bluer.
Okay, so.
But purple.
Purple. They're both purple, but here is YR8.
See how this one is a little bit more lilac-y, kind of.
Ever so slightly.
And the other one is a little bit more
lighter.
See?
So there they are together. Look at you. Get one of each. Get one of each.
Can y'all see it?
Hopefully y'all can see it. Donna says, "Wowzer, 7 is stunning. So is 8. So is 8."
You just stop looking at them being behind.
Yeah, you gotta do your job over there.
I should just go.
He's still trying to get out of it. He's gonna slack off till he gets released from duty.
That's like I knew somebody who used to do a terrible job at stuff, so that nobody would ever ask them to do it.
To do work.
Until they got fired.
I was gonna say that can happen too. So YR7 and YR8, they're only $28 each.
Luckily, I can't be fired from
cubic zirconia.
I'm grandfathered in.
Anna says yes, they are distinct colors. Right? Beautiful. I can't believe that these are still here. To me, it says I really like these, right? They're very nice, and they're what fake diamonds are made out of. It's cubic zirconia, the real deal. If you got these in your local jewelry store, and you got a pair of earrings made out of these, they're going to be a lot more than $28 a piece.
Ooh, mommy, daddy, baby.
Can you imagine? Huh?
I said, mommy, daddy, baby.
I know. Can you imagine that in a?
I don't know for what's coming up.
Oh, for what's coming up? Oh.
Can I top it? Yes, I can. Get ready.
Get ready, y'all. Get ready.
Well, I like both. I'm not saying don't buy it.
Don't tell them not to buy the things.
I will always tell them not to buy some. If something looks terrible, I will tell them.
Well, these don't look terrible, though.
I know, but
oh, boy.
If you want something,
Look at this price reduction.
It's got our original tag too.
I know. Here's the original tag. This is one of our tags.
We sold all of them except this one.
Yep. West African mixed trade bead strand. I know. It should just go back in the store because we sold them all in the store. We took this one out, and it forever got left out. But look at this mix of all different kinds of African beads.
There's some goodies on that. But you never have to worry about if I'm not going to be honest with you about something.
No,
I don't think you should buy it. I'll tell you.
We're very honest. We're nothing if not honest.
And it's kind of like one person, they said, oh, I love this. I don't know about that.
I don't.
Maybe you want to pick something.
Look at that one.
Your nipples.
Ah.
She made this necklace, and it looked like she had like what they used to call back in the burlesque day. They called them titty tassel.
Mm-hmm.
And she put it, and she made it, and I was like, you're gonna get somebody's gonna look at that. It's gonna be wrong.
Some of these beads are older than others. This is a nice mixed strand. West African mixed trade bead strand. Donna says, I have one of those strands. It's even more incredible in person. Yes.
There's some really old ones on that one.
Yep. And this was 42, dropping it down to 36 for y'all. If it doesn't sell tonight, well, if it doesn't sell by Friday when I go back to the store, this is going back into the store at $42.
Then you just hang it up.
I'm gonna hang it. I'm gonna hang it right up. $42.
All right, get ready.
Get it ready. He's very excited about this next strand. Very excited.
Sold.
Huh?
I thought the one coming up sold.
Sold. Didn't sell. Can't believe it.
Yeah, me neither.
YR9 just sold. Don't get to take it to the store with me, but that's okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Domina says YR8 was the lighter purple version of YR7. Yes. 8.
I don't know if lighter. It's more.
But that's what.
Bluish.
That's what she means.
Yeah. Both Susie.
Yes.
The first one.
The ones that look darker on camera were 7.
And those are a little bit more pinky in person. Not like pink, but you know how it's like, how do you make purple, red, and blue? Well, it depends on how much red you put in, how much blue you put in. It'll change the color. And oftentimes we associate, when they add a little bit more blue, when it goes on a more blue tone, we associate it being lighter or clearer because they put blue into things.
Now Dominion's asking maybe more periwinkle. The 8 was on the camera. It would have been lighter. That's what you're asking. Yes. Yes.
All right. Look at these ones.
Look at these.
These chunky monkey style.
Chunky monkey.
But in a good way.
Who doesn't like
monkey ice cream?
Who doesn't like some chunky monkey? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Nice
Labradorite.
Pieces.
Big pieces of labradorite.
We will probably sell. How many are on there on a strand?
Oh, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So we would probably charge at least $8, maybe
per stone.
9 or 10 per stone, because those are enough. They're big enough to be pendants.
Yeah, pendants usually are anywhere from $8 to $12.
Some vendors charge $22.
Up to $15. Yeah, we have some. We got from some vendors. We have to charge that.
Because that's how we bought it.
And that's how we bought it. They're like $22 a pendant.
So like a deal.
This is a deal. YR10, $70 down from $80, which was an inexpensive price to begin with. Beautiful vintage labradorite. I'm just going to call them pendants. It's a whole strand of pendants. They're beads. You can do what you want with them, and there is flash in them. You just got to catch it right. You can see it as I'm turning them and moving them. A lot of them have points of flash. They're not overly flashy though. Sometimes you don't want that. You just want it to catch the light here and there, because they're really pretty stones all by themselves. I love this green color.
If you're going through trouble times, they sometimes call this the warrior stone.
The warrior stone. Not that you're worrying.
Warrior.
You're a warrior.
You defeat the challenge.
Right.
And they associate that with dreams and magic.
Oh, I love this next strand.
Oh.
Hand carved. It had been floating around. I've been meaning to put it in live shows for quite some time. And it keeps getting moved around. And so finally it made it. This is hand carved. They're hand carved flowers on smoky quartz.
If they don't sell, I keep it.
I know, they're beautiful little flowers.
I just make earrings and there you go.
I know. $34. I thought this was gonna be like a $70 strand.
Yeah.
Hand carved.
Best friend price.
That's best friend price. Because that's, I'm telling you right now, 2 of those on ear wires, I will charge $34 in the store and they'll sell. Because that's,
well, don't sell it too hard then.
I know, we're gonna make a bunch of $34 earrings. The store's just not busy yet. If the store gets busy, I'm gonna be making lots of these earrings.
Well, warmer times are coming.
Yeah, warmer times are coming, and we're gonna pair up with some people and do some classes. People are gonna get to know us. I'm excited for all that. These are 15.2 millimeters by approximately 19.5.
I kind of want to have another store on there.
This is a 16-inch strand.
Critical mass.
Critical mass.
I want to call it called Global Adventure.
Global Adventure.
Maybe not. Maybe Globe. Something about me traveling the world.
So he gets to travel not only the U.S., he's going to be traveling the world now next.
Well, guess what? So there's an artist who I admired greatly. Her name was Martha Banyas, and she was a very talented mammoth artist. And I did not know that she was a bead lady.
Oh, yeah?
I watched this thing, a presentation she made, and she was a bead lady, and she called herself a trader. And not like she's like a trader face, but like she's like gonna trade you
trade things.
So she would travel all over the world, and she'd talk about it. About how she would go and get this stuff and then bring it back, and they had a whole system. And she did it for I think 10 or 20 years. I can't remember. And it's called Annie Corey or something. I can't remember. And it sounded so wonderful.
This is a jade. Beautiful jade. Smooth, tumbled drops. Look at the color in these. Look at how beautiful they are, how they glow. They are graduated. It's a graduated strand. It graduates from the ends to the center. It is a 16-inch strand. And let's see, the smallest one on here is about 14, well, let's just say 15 by 8. And the largest one, at least the longest one, is 30.5 by 17. Move these up a little bit here. Let's get this back in the camera. What are we doing here, everybody? What are we doing? YR12. Beautiful jade. $24 only for the whole strand. Those would be some lovely earrings too. Talk about spring. They have a nice glow to them. Very nice color.
People who like chat, get ready.
What?
You got a couple to go. But look how those glow.
I know, I keep looking at them because on camera they look good. In person, they look even better.
But you want to know something? I don't know if this will sell it or not.
Uh-oh.
I got one word. Slimer.
Slimer.
Doesn't that look like a slimer flavor?
Ectoplasm juice.
I don't know. We need say juice.
That's what the high C, the ectoplasmic, the ecto high C.
I don't think they call it juice, like juice.
Juice.
You're milking the ghost.
They're gonna milk the ghost. What number was that? That was 12. This is 13 coming up. Ooh, ooh.
Did they sell it, y'all? Did I sell it by milking the
Is
ghost?
this aqua?
Yeah.
Wow.
Best friend price.
That is a best friend price.
You want to go to Douglas Price. So here's the thing. I also want to go to Kat Cole's class. It's on Friday online. And her husband died, so I feel like I should be supportive.
Not that I'm laughing that her husband died, but Andrew always finds a reason to be supportive.
Well, I want to be a good friend and learn about enameling on steel better. And since I didn't get to take her class at Aeromont, I kind of feel like this is the time, you know, because I want to support her and her daughter, who no longer has a father. I would want, if I died, I would want people to support you. So I'm just saying.
Yes, I see what you're saying.
It says on Friday.
I see what you're saying.
I posted about previously.
Oh, this is Aquamarino.
I don't know how she's gonna live, you know.
I don't know.
So it's important that her classes fill.
It's important that her classes fill. Well, I guess if you make enough on your stuff on Friday.
We can't wait till Friday because that's when the class is.
Oh, well, you're gonna be too busy in the studio.
I can watch it and learn and grow.
This is aquamarine, y'all. Microfaceted.
I need to check what time it is.
3 millimeter. 3 millimeter. Microfaceted, beautiful aquamarine. One strand available. YR 13.
But I don't have any classes this month, so.
I know. It's kind of a nice break for you.
No, I'm shivering.
Well, you can't always have a class, so you probably should. You should probably let yourself feel. You should let yourself feel what it's like to not have a class, because not everyone's as fortunate as you are.
No, that's the opposite. That is wasting an opportunity, and that's called closing your hand to opportunity.
Oh.
So we can't do that. What kind of message would that send? You need to live in abundance, William.
Oh, okay.
It's like the mega church people. They live in abundance.
They sure do, because they have abundance.
Well, do you think they turn away the classes? No.
YR 14. Look at this beautiful faceted quartz. Beautiful quartz. $24 for the strand. 1 strand available.
That's a good strand.
That's a really good strand. That is something that's kind of, I feel like that's like a little bit toward the smoky quartz I used in my last bracelet. It's kind of that idea.
From my stash?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, this is the good stuff. YR 14. And these are approximately 9.2 by, boy, this is hard to see on here, 11.3 millimeters. And this strand is a 14-inch strand, $24. Beautiful faceted quartz.
It's kind of like the
14 has sold. Thank you so much. This one.
All right. It's kind of like the moonstone I was working with earlier.
I didn't see it because I couldn't.
On my bracelet.
Yeah, I couldn't watch. I was just listening.
It's over here now.
I haven't looked at it yet.
The dragonfly.
Dominion says no one is milking anyone on my watch. That's funny.
Even the ghosts?
Even the ghosts? No. YR 15. So a lot of you. Oh, a lot of you.
What if they like it?
A lot of you bought shell recently from us. We're gonna have more tonight, I think. But if you did, you might want some smaller because some of the shell we had is pretty big. So you might want some smaller ones to go in between or to coordinate. So we have 2 of these left. These are the luxury bead blends from the Philippines world kits that we used to do. And we only have 2 left. And Andrew dropped them down to $10 each. So YR15, these are full of shell and abalone. I don't know, mother of pearl at least. Yeah, there's looks like some abalone in there too.
Abalone is a blue-gray.
Yeah, there's a few of them in there.
Is that?
I think so. And yeah, there's all different kinds in there. 2 bags available. 2x3 bags, stuffed full. These are really stuffed full.
Nice.
Andrew stuffed those. YR15, $10 each. 2 of them available. Like I said, I picked these out because I know a lot of you got some shell stuff and you might want some smaller stuff and little bits to go with stuff. Hey, Kimberly says, hello everyone, way late tonight. My son had a band concert. That's fun.
How was it?
How was it? What does your son play?
Did he do a good job?
Did he do a good job? Andrew's going to check in.
And does he need to practice?
Does he need to practice? Oh boy.
That's
Oh boy.
Filipino
I was going to say you're going to get those stereotypes going now.
Did he make you proud?
Did he make you proud?
Or did he bring shame upon the family?
Oh, lordy lord. So this is YR15. For those of you who bought some shell earlier in the week, you might want these little bits to go with them. Only $10 a bag, 2 bags available. YR15. He's a drummer and is fabulous. He's a high school senior.
Oh,
Nice. Nice.
I'm not
You're not disappointed.
Yeah, how does he practice? Does he practice at home?
Playing the drums at home.
Do they have a silent kit?
For some reason I thought my did you see that thing with the silent keyboardist? There was this thing going around. I don't know how I saw it anyway. And he's in the hotel room and it's a silent keyboard. So he has his headphones on and he is pounding on that. And all you hear is, no, I'm not, but all you hear is that in the hotel room. And they're like, is that really better than him actually playing? Because his girlfriend was sitting right on the bed trying to do work. And it's right beside her doing this the whole time. And I'm like, just take it off. Just play the music. I'd rather hear the music.
Nah.
Nah.
Terrible.
What if they're terrible? Well, he was like a concert or he was like fairly famous. So I don't think he was terrible. This is the tiniest string.
I know.
That these are on.
Because that probably is multiple strands that got strung up on fishing lines.
This is a huge strand. Mm-hmm. This is like an 18-inch strand. Vintage. 17-inch, probably 17-inch strand. Says we have a silent kit, but he's a natural, only practices at school. That's awesome. I was so afraid for some reason that my mom was going to make me be in the band when I was in high school, because they sent around a paper that had your parents sign if they wanted you to be in band. And I asked my dad, I'm like, please don't make me be in band. Like, please help me. Because for some reason I thought my mom was going to be like, you have to join and do an instrument.
My mom was a cheerleader. Yeah,
my mom and aunt were both cheerleaders. And I just assumed, I don't know why I had in my head that she was going to make me be in band. And my dad's like, okay, well, I'll be on your side if you don't want to be in band. And then I told my mom, and she's like, I don't care. But
she probably is relieved.
I know. Now I kind of wish she would have, because I'd like to know an instrument. But I inherited my grandfather's mandolin, so I'm hoping someday to learn that. These are 12 millimeter by 18 millimeters. And this is YR16, only $20 for this very large vintage check glass strand.
I'd probably restring if it doesn't sell and sell a smaller.
Yeah, we'll sell them in multiple, because this is like, that's like a strand right there. Yeah, these are, there's like 3 strands here, probably 2.5, 3 strands at least of normal size check glass strands. Wire 16. I just thought these are nice because they're white. And they would go with everything. And if you're getting into some lighter colors for summer, these would be really pretty with pastels or some lighter colors. Kimberly says, oh no. Oh, he made the state FFA band. That's awesome. Congratulations. Donna says, Kimberly, I'm a former band mom, and both my son and daughter played the drums. Nice. Says, oh no, I left mine to decide for themselves. I played violin and flute in school and was in the choir, very musical. My family is not. My grandfather was very musical. He could pick up pretty much any stringed instrument and just play. But my dad did not get that gene. My mom's side of the family, none of them really sing or play instruments. My one uncle kind of got it from my grandfather. But he didn't do much with it. And so we don't have much music in our family that way. And I kind of wish I was musical. I feel like I could be if I learned, but you know, I'm very busy. Andrew doesn't want to hear it, is what he's saying.
I don't care. I'll support you. You act like I'm so non-supporting.
Well, you were like,
but you're too busy.
I am very busy. I am very busy.
If you find a way to generate an extra $20,000 a year so that you can take a day off a week.
Is that what a day off a week is?
I think it is.
Is that what that is?
Because that breaks down to what, like $200 a day?
Boy, that's some quick math you're doing over there. Let's see, YR9. I don't know what YR9 was. Was there another one of those? No, there was only one of those that had already sold. But thank you for trying. This is YR17. These are beautiful little pearls. Let me show you them all. Look at them all. Look at how good they look together.
And Sheila was musical. She was in the youth symphony.
Oh yeah?
She played the violin.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. She gave it up?
I think she still plays something.
Dominion played the alto sax. Anna says, I was a band kid. My daughter played violin and tried the flute. Lena says, I was in chorus in high school and the church choir.
Weren't you in singing time with Sarah Bareilles in your college?
And Kimberly says, that's so awesome, right? So these are YR17. They're only $14 a strand. That's gonna go up. These are nice little ones. Nice little ones. These are about 5 millimeter, little tiny pearls. Suzanne says, I'm tone deaf. See, that's my problem, is I don't know if I really understand notes.
I know I have hearing loss, and so even in the Duolingo, I don't always catch everything. So
Charlie's here. Hello, Charlie. I had to take half a year of band and half a year of chorus. I'm still awful at singing and the trumpet. LOL. I had to take a music class. I had to take music class where you learned how to like read and write music, and I kind of really liked that. But
I did that in 7th grade, and then I was trying to sing, and she took me off the line.
She's like, no.
She did. I remember her. She had a curly short.
Oh, I was going to say a short temper or short fuse.
She had a short temper with me. She was like, no.
She's like, no.
We had these blocks.
You are not it.
We had these blocks that we had to bang together. And she snatched them blocks right out of my hand. And she goes, I think you should read the notes.
Oh.
And I had to do remedial. And I was like, I can't hear the difference. And then,
So these are, we sold one of the 17s. Thank you so much. These are YR18. These are a bead blend.
Don't dump too much.
I'm
We
not.
don't have a triangle
I
here.
know. There's never a triangle here. We got 18 of them at the cottage. This is I think vintage Czech, right? Mostly vintage. There's a lot of vintage Czech. There's vintage sequins in there. Look at how pretty those are though.
So this
Some
one
fire
was
polished.
blue and red, but with the purples.
Blue and red with purples.
And a little bit of pink.
Your Duolingo things keep coming up here. Telling you, you better get on it. You better get on it. You better get on it.
What time we left, by the way?
Huh?
What time is it?
10, 12.
Okay.
Well, I popped in earlier.
So hard.
I popped in earlier, but had to cook. I did not inherit the Filipino stereotype to be a good singer. Haha.
You know, so I think I could be. Like, I have the potential. Because I can sing and make my voice sound so pleasant. Isn't that right,
Yeah, yes, absolutely correct. 100%. Your teacher was completely wrong about you.
What, you know, sometimes people can't recognize.
She just didn't know talent. She just didn't know talent when she saw it.
Was anybody else famous from there? I don't think so.
Lenna says, I tried out for the a cappella group at UCLA, but didn't make it. Donna says, yeah, my dad's family was musical, and I had to take piano lessons and hated them, but my sister loved them. I learned to play I almost said the guitar. That's how Andrew says it. I learned to play the guitar in high school, and I've sung in church choirs up until 2019. Nice. My grandfather, that's the one string instrument he could not play was the piano. He didn't play the piano.
The guitar.
The guitar. He played the guitar. He played the mandolin. He played the banjo.
Or what?
Charlie, you gonna come over or what? Let's have an allegory karaoke night, she says.
Yeah, by yourself.
Look at these shells, everybody. $8 only for this strand. Look how beautiful they are.
You know what? I saw some karaoke, and
you get a few drinks in him.
Then I guess I would try.
Then he does.
But I actually don't know the words of any song, so
it's all a surprise when they come up on screen to Andrew. Like, oh, that's what it's. Oh.
Like they had a song that they said, "Live like kings," and I thought they said "Little Hakeem." And me and my friend Heather Wynn.
You even made jewelry over that, didn't you?
Yeah, we used to make the song lyrics, like the titles
of your project.
And Danielle Fox was like, "What the hell is Little Hakeem?"
27.6 millimeters by about 20.7. One strand of these beautiful shells of it. These are real shell, everybody. Look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? One strand available, $8. YR19. Little Hakeem. I'm aiming for Wednesday of next week now. Does that work for you guys?
Maybe.
Should.
My March is relatively clear.
Going on to some more of this shell, since y'all have been liking this shell a lot, and these unique shapes. This strand, look at these. Look at these, everybody. How fun are those? Little shell discs. They're not so little, though. They're not so little. But they're beautiful. They've got that wave kind of pattern in them. A little bit of color, a little bit of pink.
So
they're peachy color.
I didn't sing karaoke, and then so they didn't invite me.
Oh.
And my feelings got hurt a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
Because maybe I don't sing, but I can be supportive.
He's like, I love to be included. Yeah, they left you out.
I'm not gonna say who did that, but
24.5 millimeters by approximately 5 millimeters.
I opened my Instagram and saw them singing together.
I know. He's at a class and he said he didn't do karaoke, so they just decided later they're gonna go out without him. Poor Andrew. He was so down about it too.
Well, nobody likes to be left out.
No. And we'll even throw in one extra, y'all. There's one extra in here. YR20, $16. I'm awful at singing. You're always welcome to go with me, says Charlie. Promise we don't have to sing when I come. Maybe y'all going to sing. Andrew's been into this singing before work lately.
I know. They could do the sing praying at the folk school. And I was hesitant at first because I was like shook because I didn't know if they were going to do that. And then they have this one called Simple Gifts. And then I kind of got into it. And I like quietly mumbled to myself. But some of those people, they got like religious experience and they're like, ah, and they're like really getting into it.
Yeah.
They put the vibrato into it and the falsetto.
Look at these beautiful citrine nuggets. Little citrine nugget strand, $12 only, down from $16. That's going to be a little bit high. That'd be like, it's like an $18 strand in the store for sure. Like, that's 16 inches. Kimberly asked Wednesday of next week for what? Oh, our friend Charlie is coming to visit us. Maybe. If she doesn't get sick again.
She was just tired, I feel like.
You feel it too. It's in the air right now.
Yeah, I've been tired too.
Me too. Been worn out, knocked down. Charlie said those look tasty.
Don't eat the beads. You always talk about eating the beads. That's how you get trouble time.
I'm a car singer, LOL. It helps keep me awake.
I am too.
Andrew is definitely a car singer.
People always wondering, they're like, how do you drive by yourself and you don't get sleepy? But then when you're in a car with people, you start closing your eyes. Well, first, I drive by faith. And then
you drive by faith.
And I guide
just what I love to hear. Just what I love to hear.
Jesus take the wheel.
Oh.
And the next thing is that when I'm by myself, I can sing as I turn the music up real loud and I put the air on. Maybe not turn the air on, but open the window, get cold blast.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like to drive if I do that.
Look at these fun little wooden beads.
They're Bayong.
Bayong wood.
From the Philippines.
From the Philippines. They're so fluttery. Like, imagine those in an earring. They're so much fun. And you get this huge long strand. Let me show you. Let me do this here. This is, I got too many cords in the way is what I've got here. I can't measure anything. This is 12 inches there. That's a 24-inch strand. Kimberly says those are gorgeous citrine, weren't they? They were beautiful. We've got one strand of this. Only $20 for a 24-inch strand? Wow. YR22, $20 only. Ooh, I love these. If these don't sell, I'm going to play with these. And this is, oh, fun, love when friends visit. Yes, it is fun. It is fun. Charlie says, oh, I have some of those wooden beads, and now I know where they're from.
There you go.
The Philippines.
Did you feel it?
Did you feel it in the spirit?
Because you're half Filipino, right? Like me. Papa?
Oh, you price these good. This is something people keep asking us for. What? Are you selling this as one strand?
Oh, is it two?
They're two minis.
Oh, I thought it was one.
I did too, actually.
Let me adjust
Let's adjust that for us. Here, let me show you what it is while we're waiting. People keep asking us for blue and red tiger eye. This is a shorty strand with blue, gold, and red tiger eye. There's the blue. There's the golden. And there's the red. Tiger eye comes in blue, red, and gold. And red and blue are more, they're harder to find. We don't have them very often.
And also the yellow nowadays look kind of poopy.
Yeah, it's not great. These are nice vintage strands. These are shorty strands. They are, and by short, they're about 7.5 inches, which is like a half strand. And so blue, red, and golden tiger eye ovals, and they are approximately 13 millimeters by 18 millimeters. YR23, to them available, $10 each. Those of you keep asking us for blue tiger eye, we've got a little bit on here. Kimberly says, I sing Bon Jovi when driving.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see here. I also make it super cold when driving, says Charlie. Says, I'm an 8th Filipino, LOL, so my foot.
Oh. Well.
Look at these. So one of these has sold. Thank you so much. YR23, we've got one left. One left. You keep asking for blue tiger eye, we give it to you. Y'all finally found some in the stash. Who wants it? One left. You don't have to take it. It's all right. But don't ask anymore.
Oh. You're getting hateful now. You're getting angry, y'all.
No, I actually had someone brought pizza in for class.
Oh,
I wasn't going to tell you because that's what I was going to get. Oh, that's nice. Wow. I couldn't bring any home. They weren't giving it for take home. We had a pizza party in class today.
Amy.
Amy didn't bring it. It was one of my friends in class.
Well, thanks, friend in class. What's their name?
From Foggy Mountain. Don't worry about it.
So that I know who not to include. We can
I was going to say,
ways.
don't worry about it.
Who's going to get cupcakes next week? Amy, William, and not you.
Why? Because they provided food? Don't be hateful. Don't be hateful, Andrew. Who's hateful now?
Me, I never said that I was nice. That's the thing. People got confused. They think I'm nice. No.
They think I think I'm nice?
I'm kind. There's a difference.
This is a 16-inch strand. Look at this beautiful shell.
Nobody ever said I wasn't hateful.
This is mother of pearl, right? I think this is mother of pearl. Let's switch the subject. Andrew's getting wild over there. Who's hangry now over there?
Not me. Well, I don't know. I didn't get any pizza. So. I'll be like, here, Amy. You're going to provide for the pot.
Make sure you have enough to take home to spouses, too.
Yeah. Significant others appreciate food as well.
Oh, all right. Let's see.
Like, are they white?
Listen to this. All right. Next up are these. We've got one strand. We've had a bunch of, well, not a bunch. We've had a number of these. We have one strand left. People seem to love these. They sound really good, too. Can we just appreciate that? How musical those are. But these are these beautiful shells that are sliced cross-section like, and you get to see all the interior of these shells. Aren't they fun? Great for earring making.
I do think that there's something about Asian gift giving. It's totally a thing. And because like my Asian teacher that I just recently had, we got treats.
Oh.
She gave us little things.
22 by 45 millimeters. So
it's a stereotype, but sometimes it's true.
Sometimes it's true. It's just cultural.
Well, it's one of those things like I would never go to somebody's house without bringing something. In the times
even when he goes to somebody's house he's been to many, many, many times before.
That's the way.
He still brings something every time.
Even if it's like napkins.
Yeah.
I used to have emergency gifts.
Emergency gifts stashed away.
Do y'all do that, or is that just an Asian people thing?
Bead ASMR, right? YR26, 3 of these available. These are nice. Only $18. Andrew's giving you all the good pricing. That's very considerate, says Kimberly.
I think it's one of those things where maybe it's two ways. So one way is that if people don't have a lot of money, then you're not putting pressure on them.
As the host.
So you're helping. And that's everybody does it. So
if everybody brings something.
It's kind of like in the cookie table. When we got married, that's one thing that I wish we would have gotten to do that we didn't get to do.
The cookie
table is everybody brings their favorite cookies, either that they made or got.
It's a 16-inch strand.
And it started from when they couldn't afford like a cake for the entire town or whatever. And it's a southwestern Pennsylvania thing. So, but everybody could afford like to make cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would have cookie table. But anyway, so like for Asian, but the other way, the passive aggressive way is if you try and show off.
Charlie says, yes, I always bring something when I visit someone.
Yeah.
Charlie has always brought something.
I know, you made...
Our friend Cindy also always brings me something when she stops in.
How come I not get...
I left you some in the fridge. There's some in the fridge from Cindy's last visit.
Oh.
I left you some.
She did bring cookies when I was there the one time.
Mm-hmm. She brought I think it's some kind of fruit crumble. So that's in the...
Does it have oatmeal?
Oh, it might. I can't remember. It might be all mine then. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget you can't do oatmeal, even like in other stuff.
I know you do.
I know.
He got oatmeal, and I was like, what are you trying to do?
I know. I was thinking...
Hobble me?
Look at these, everybody.
I can't eat oatmeal because it makes me get the gout.
The gout. Someone else on my Facebook timeline just said, I can't believe they were like, I can't believe, I think they're 35. They're like, I can't believe I'm 35 and I've got gout.
I know. That's not great.
This is
I'm not 35.
14-inch strand. 14-inch strand. Look at this beautiful glass. It's got that gold metallic on one side and that gray clear on the other. And these are approximately 7.7 by 11 millimeters.
But you don't think that as a vegetarian you should be getting gout?
No.
But you know what? I'm wrecked my liver, so that probably helps.
Charlie's asking, what's everyone's favorite cookies?
So
Kimberly says, love that.
Table, I love, this is the thing. I love pecan sandies, but I cannot eat them. So they give me the ravaging heartburn.
Yeah, you now can't eat pecans anymore.
I know.
Pecans.
My favorite, pecan sandies. I do like a Mexican wedding cookie. Those are the ones that melt in your mouth. The lime ones of those are good. Oh, thumbprint cookies with rose pepper jelly.
Oh,
also
boy.
Good.
Look at this glass.
Macaron.
These would go great with that last.
Macaroons. Both.
Both of them. YR28. Vintage glass. Lovely. They are, and they would go great with the last batch of glass.
Price.
Yeah, 4 millimeters by approximately 4 by 8 millimeters. Only $4 a strand. 2 strands available. Anna says, I remember having emergency gifts on hand. Vicky says, when I go to my beady friends' homes, I try to bring beads or cabs. Everyone else gets cookies or wine.
Same.
And Charlie says, no pecans either. Ooh, love wedding cookies.
And you know what are really good? Oatmeal raisin cookies. That is like one of my horcruxes.
Oatmeal raisin cookies.
I love them, especially when they get a little bit like caramelized and they're a little bit crunchy. I don't know how they do that with the brown sugar or something. There's some witchcraft involved. They prey on it.
This is springy. This is cheap too. Look at these. Beautiful dyed stone.
I do like a good chocolate chip cookie too.
Let's see here. Cindy says, oh, too many to mention. Oreos, pecan sandies, fudge stripes, sugar wafers. I could go on and on.
Those all sound store-bought.
Kimberly says, oatmeal raisin are my favorite. Anna says, oatmeal raisin is good comfort.
I know, especially if somebody knows how to make them. Because I've had a bad oatmeal raisin cookie before, too.
Charlie says, a hot oatmeal raisin is also my favorite. Nice and soft.
You like it soft? I like it soft and crunchy.
Soft and crunchy.
Like there's something that
16-inch
happens on
strand.
the bottoms, and the sugar is caramelized, and it's almost like, what are those ones that look like lace?
About 6 millimeter. What?
One of them cookies that look like lace. Florentines.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that Florentines?
I have Pizzelle in my head now because that's the kind of that lacy
That's
thing.
that Italian one.
Yeah.
Those are also good. They're
I
anise
love those.
flavor.
I know.
I don't like anise, but
He eats those.
I do eat those.
Lena says, I love lemon anything. Lemon coolers. Florentine, says Charlie.
So it almost like those ones that I had before, it almost gets like a Florentine texture on the bottom. I don't know how they do it.
We've sold one of 28, y'all. Thank you so much.
Delightful.
And it says, yes, Florentines. And the last one for tonight is this very fun shape.
A limoncello cookie, and I thought it was not excellent.
Not excellent.
No, it was oddly bitter. But we used to make lemon sandwich cookies, and those ones were so good because Karen Damasco was the head chef at the restaurant I worked at, and she would make her own lemon curd, and it was like people would like line up.
Oh, I love these. Look how cute these are. They got nice patterns.
My friend Katrina over lemon cookies.
Oh, nice.
And she's a lemon cookie lady.
These are about 30 millimeters by 39. That's a cool shape for you looking for some interesting shaped beads. And this is a 16-inch strand.
And I used to put some aside for her. One time this lady came in and she saw me do it. She's like, what you doing putting that back there? I said, this is for the lemon cookie lady. And Katrina walked in and I said, I saved these for you. That lady got so hateful.
Charlie says, lemon bars are my favorite. I make it pure lemon. That sounds delicious.
Karen also made a good lemon
Who doesn't
bar.
like a tart with a sweet?
She made it. I don't know how she made it, but they were good. And they would do, this is orbicular jasper, by the way.
Orbicular jasper. And that's the last lot tonight, y'all. YR30.
They had these.
Now it's time for talking.
In the winter time, they would have these oatmeal cream sandwich cookies, and those were good.
Kimberly says, I would totally send you my homemade oatmeal raisin if oatmeal didn't make you sick.
It gives me the gout.
Yeah. Can't have it anymore. I can have it, though. So feel free.
I mean, there's other cookies. There are things that don't have oatmeal on it.
Well, Kimberly makes homemade oatmeal raisin.
I'm sure if somebody makes something like that, they would also make other things.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe. I'm not volunteering you or anything.
I know, right? Say, no, make me something else.
I demand it.
I demand it. Suzanne says, great beads. Good night, everyone. Good night, Suzanne. Thank you for hanging out.
Happy Ash Wednesday.
Yes. Poopy had a hard time giving up oat cakes, says Lennis.
Those are also good.
Oh, those little oat cakes. We used to get those from the store down here.
G squared.
G squared. I forgot about those. Those are good.
The corn ones are also good.
They melt in your mouth.
Oh my gosh,
so
those
good.
Corn cookies. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Corn cookies. They were good.
Uh-huh.
They're a little bit gritty though, so if you don't like that for texture.
Kimberly says, I make a mean chocolate chip and M&M cookie too.
Sounds good.
All sounds delicious. All right, y'all.
White chocolate chip and macadamia.
He loves white chocolate macadamia.
Those are good at the Subway when we go. I get that.
Sounds like we should have a cookie bead day at the shop, says Charlie.
Cookie day.
Cookie day.
There's a donut day. National Donut Day. I
I'm
found
sure there's a National Cookie Day.
I found that little thing I made with Babette saying Happy Donut Day,
That's
and she's
cute.
baby time, because she loved a donut,
She did.
and it wasn't donut day, but she convinced me to do it, and
She
so then she
loved
got a donut.
donuts. She loved donuts, that little girl.
I don't know if the new cats like them because we don't bring them.
No, Barnaby does. He likes bread, and he
Yeah,
likes
I
the sweet
know. He
donuts.
knows he's from the lineage of his sister.
Uh-huh.
Babette.
Babette. He loves the donuts.
Then she taught them the way of the donut.
Uh-huh.
Because they say that cats don't like sweets.
Yeah, they say cats can't taste sweets. But
they would knock the donut out your hand.
uh-huh.
So I don't know.
Yeah, when Babette was sick, the only thing we could get her to eat at one point was a donut. And she ate that.
I miss her.
I do too. Lennis's National Cookie Day is December 4th. We gotta wait till December? Nah, we'll have our own. Cindy says good night, all. Thank you all for tuning in.
We're gonna the allegory cookie day.
There you go. We're gonna go and get some food going. I'm gonna get some invoicing going. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you had a good time watching Andrew make his bracelet and hang out with him talking about energy. If you missed any of that, like I did, do the replay after this on YouTube or Facebook.
Might need it, William.
Oh, do I? I'm in a pretty good mood. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying.
He's like, recalibrate yourself. All right, y'all.
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, and we'll be back here tomorrow with something else before we're back on Friday with Andrew's new items. We'll see y'all then. Bye, everybody.
See ya.